jazz?
You tell
Or
me.
I had something, some voice telling me in Spanish that this has been recorded. So no, for example,
I was asked to do my task, and it suddenly got in my head that I am supposed to do the recording of the session.
okay. No, for example, I play bass guitar. So for example, Jaco Pastorius, do you remember him? Me
Yes, but
was
my favorite bass
no,
player of
not
all times is also always Marcus Miller.
Marco. Yes, no, Marco.
Yes, yes. And,
Yes,
and and the only reason I say that because if you say Jaco Pastori, it's a very difficult name to spell.
yes.
Yeah. But if you, as an example, indeed take Marcus Miller for a second, and I'll probably click too fast. So what is it we do? And that's am I? You see, I click too fast. So what it is we do? We really make sure that artists are getting what it is they need, and very often what happens, um, it literally fails at the moment that artists are releasing music and they don't have data. They don't even know what their IPI number is. Now, what is an IPI number? It's kind of like your social security number for an artist. Yeah. Most artists don't even know what I'm talking about, which is pretty bad because that is the reason a lot of artists are not getting the money they deserve
Oh,
just because of that number not being present. The ISNI number is the other very important number. That's kind of like where and how you do publish your music.
oh,
So, as an example, there's this one, well, there's plenty of organizations like that. They call them pros. Yeah. There's this mechanical licensing society in the USA, and every single quarter they pull in close to $450 million. Yeah, and now you would say that that $450 million goes straight to all the artists. Wrong. Only half of that money is
yeah.
being distributed among artists. And the other half, and that is the question one should ask, where is the other half going? Well, the other half literally stays on their bank account till maybe one day somebody claims, yeah, the money, which most of the time don't happen at all. So that's a very sad thing. Now, what
But
we try to do,
please,
yes?
one question. Just that I don't understand that number. Which is the person who helped? How do you create that number?
Ah, well, that is where you register with a so-called publishing company,
Ah,
a
okay.
pro, and that is what
Yeah,
most artists are forgetting.
yeah.
Um, Back in the days, let me put it that way, that was probably more obvious if a record label would take care of that. Yeah. But nowadays, people aren't even aware that such a thing does exist. Yeah. And what does that mean? They miss out on a lot of money. Yeah.
Oh,
That's one big problem. And then all the other more important things, like even the simple iTunes ID, the Spotify ID, that is where you get your money of music being played on these channels. Yeah. But most artists are not IT people, they are artists, they are very creative people. So if nobody is going to tell them about this, then they probably will never ever do that. Now, what we try to do with Playtreks is first of all give you an idea of all the metadata, and now I'm going to give you a better example. I think one of the most popular artists nowadays, The Weeknd. Yeah, if you look at so his record label, yeah, did it very well. But if I take as an example, a song, which is in a playlist, let's say take Save Your Tears, then you can see how complicated this is going to be. Uh, in this case, with this number, this song, together with an Ariana Grande, um, is literally registered with so-called publishers all over the world. Look at that. Yeah. And what I did with Marcus Miller is only give you one, yeah, number, one ID, but you see what's happening with the weekend. They really are in control of what's happening. Yeah, so you have the different publishers who are literally allowing other publishers to take care of that music as well. But if you, for one reason or another, do not have that ID, yeah, then you fail because you will never ever get your money. Yeah, and in the European Union, there's about, I would say right now, 28 of these organizations who take care of your musical rights. And yeah, well, if you are not visible, you will never ever get your money. That's step number one. So even what I'm showing you right now is already highly spectacular. What it is we do, we pull data from many, many sources on the internet, including the publishing companies. We aggregate that data and make it visible, upon which the artist literally sees, okay, did I do my homework in the right way? And maybe am I missing out on something? And how do you know when something is missing? Well, for instance, you can go into the statistics. Now, let me give you a very simple example. In this case, let's talk about, well, exclude all the other people, that's okay. So now you basically only look at Marcus Miller in this case, and you see, I mean, most people don't even know Marcus Miller anymore, unfortunately. Yeah. But now, if you go, for instance, this is a fun story. This is a Dutch artist. Yeah. And what I'm going to show you right now is pretty funny because in December he admitted to the world that he was cheating on his wife. Yeah. And then one way or another, and I will make it a little bit more compressed, his popularity was going down, which is a fun story. I think it's funny. Yeah. Uh, and if you then go to, and that's really what we start showing. Also, where with his music, I mean, people throw him out of. Oh, I need to have that one. Out of playlists. Yeah, and I can do that very compressed. Yeah, so no music of that person available, just because he admits to cheating on his wife. And I think that's pretty cool that we are able to show all of that, right? Um, Another great example, I believe, is if you go back to Mr. The Weeknd, which is a great artist in his own right. If you look at, let's go here, you can literally see where and at which position he is in playlist any given time. Not only today, but also going backwards, yeah, historical data. And why is that important? Well, again, if it is about money, yeah, you want to have something in your hand if you start to complain, yeah, because complaining about nobody is listening to you doesn't pay the bill. Yeah, having proof in your hand showing that you have been played, streamed, yeah, by those streaming platforms is more than important, and we are able to show all of that. Now, if you go one step further, suppose we have released that music on the platforms, it of course is also very important to know where is your incomes coming from. Yeah, and this is just a stupid example. Well, it's not even a stupid example, although, yeah, a very low payment Yeah, this is what you get. But this is real life for many, many people. Yeah. So what we try to do is give you a lot of insight on where is your money coming from. In this case, it's only Spotify and YouTube for that matter. Yeah. But it also gives you a great idea on where to spend your marketing money. Yeah. If you see that you are more popular on Spotify than on YouTube, yeah, then don't go waste your money on YouTube. I would say spend more money on Spotify. So we give you all that uh, insight on what's happening. Also, when you talk about in which countries is my music being streamed. In this case, Romania, Poland, and Australia. Yeah. Um, if you want to do any marketing, I would focus on these countries in order to increase your income. Yeah. What is also very important is that when you start talking about money, and this is what's happening with a lot of artists, they always have to fight over their money. Yeah. Now, I don't want to make it very technical, but we implemented blockchain. So that means the moment you release music, yeah, and this is just a example of music. The moment you release that to all the platforms, we register all the details of that release in the blockchain. Meaning, you know exactly what you have agreed upon with me on how many percent it is you are getting and how many percent other people are getting, like the producer or maybe your collaborator. Yeah. And that can't be changed because it is in the blockchain. So afterwards, when it comes down to indeed paying money to the artists, there can't be any conversation, discussion, or fight over who gets what. Yeah. So what we try to do with Playtreks is give you the ultimate platform, providing you with all the transparency, not only today but also going backwards, and very soon, and this is what we are currently building, into the future, helping you, yeah, to make decisions on what to do next. Yeah. And another wonderful example, I believe, I still love that artist, Billie Holiday, for that matter. I don't know why, but I never met her, unfortunately. I'm too young for that. But these are kind of like my heroes, for that matter. What was very interesting is that I'm going to do all of that. What was very interesting is that earlier this year there was this wonderful movie called Billie Holiday versus the USA. And out of the blue, Billie Holiday was being played on YouTube. I'm going to give you that example. And she was being streamed again in such way that her legacy is making money, yeah, whoever that might be. So uh, you are able to identify spikes, and the moment you start seeing spikes in your performance, I personally would say, okay, give it additional attention. Start posting on social media that you are there, that you have music out on the platforms, because that only can add to your popularity and can also increase the number of streams, making more money. Of course, if you are going on a downhill situation, same reason, you might be able to indeed add additional marketing. Yeah, and that really always gives everybody a very good feeling. And as said, you can compare yourself. Um in this case, the blue line, I always pretend to be, and don't ask me why, I always pretend to be Dua Lipa. Yeah, seriously. I mean, and I can show you that too, because if I go to myself, yeah, and it's kind of like very weird, but I literally, in my demo environment, pretend to be Dua Lipa, as you see. No, and I don't know why. I just once did that, and it has never been changed. But the fun thing is that me being Dua Lipa now can always be on top of what is happening to my music, and I can also check what the record labels are doing because I've all
Anjo, can I ask you a question? Can I intervene?
yes.
Sure. Yeah. I was just wondering what happens because, for example, if you go on YouTube and
Yes.
you search for a song by Billie Holiday, you get like 300 versions. Maybe Billie Holiday is not a good example, but
Well,
take Dua Lipa and 20 of the versions are recorded by people who were somewhere in a festival and took it by their mobile.
correct.
Does your program also, I mean, because, yeah, actually, it's not the official recording. It's
Exactly.
done by
And
people
and
who were in a festival and put it also up on YouTube. How does it work with your
yes,
calculation?
I think that it's a twofold job. So as you can see, this is the original by Billie Holiday. Yeah. Then we have a Nina Simone version. Yeah. Um, we have the version by Andrade. If you have not seen that movie, do yourself a favor. It's a
Mm,
beautiful movie. It came out earlier this year.
okay.
Yeah. And Andrade, for that matter, she also won, I think it is an Oscar, what you win. Uh, Wonderful actress. Wonderful, wonderful. Um, if right now, and that is very important, and I totally understand what it is you're saying, Anita, um, one of the things I showed earlier on was the ID, yeah, of the. Let me then go back here. Strange fruit. Billie Holiday. Well, with Billie Holiday, nobody is making money because after 50 years, music becomes royalty free. I didn't know. I don't know whether you knew that or not.
Mm.
But in this case, if you look at the metadata, for that matter, it doesn't even matter anymore whether there's an IPI or any other number because he ain't no longer alive and the 50 years have been passed. Um, if, however, that music would be more reasoned, yeah, and it would be used by anybody for that matter, then there's also the YouTube content ID. Yeah, so we make that content ID visible. So let me go back to Save Your Tears for that matter. Um, if you, of course, I do not see it right here. So we have a couple of very important numbers. That's the so-called International Standard Recording Code. Then we have the international, well, that's the work code for that matter. And then there's also the YouTube content ID. And there, YouTube itself is, well, pretty. I always like to use anal for that matter. Because if YouTube start noticing that that music is being abused by anybody, it will be kicked off. Yeah. So really, also in this case, together with anybody else, it's becoming a very watertight environment. Yeah. Is it always that tight? No, there's always exceptions, unfortunately. But there's plenty of ways to avoid that and to claim that somebody else is abusing your music for that matter. Yeah. So
Mm.
let's be very clear about that, which I think is a wonderful thing, by the way. And it's only getting better. Um, if you look at,
But actually,
I saw that.
you cannot kind of see whether there's a difference between people who are watching the official version and those who were, yeah, as long as it is up and nobody has taken the complaint to take it off, quite a lot can also see.
I tell you honestly, Anita, we have many, many wonderful plans on
Yes,
making it even more transparent.
yeah.
And But even if what I showed earlier on, that data about the IPI, the publishers, and all that very important information in one place is already unique.
Yes, definitely.
And it looks so simple, right? And,
Abs-
thi- and this is what we like to achieve. Make it as simple as we can,
yeah.
but for the same reason as powerful. Yeah.
Mm, mm,
And in order to get this, what I'm showing you, I normally would have to log in to 20 different platforms.
mm. Yes.
So we just try to give you a very, very quick, uh, very powerful, intelligent overview of what it is happening to your music.
Mm,
Yeah. And also make sure
mm,
that nothing goes wrong. I mean, the example you just used, suppose you are having your music out there and somebody is covering it.
mm,
Yeah. You saw the list of different artists performing Strange Fruit in this case.
mm,
Yeah. So you already can very quickly identify um, whether music is original and is not being abused or is being abused.
mm,
What is also very important, and that's unfortunately what a lot of artists are doing, they're using all kind of wrong uh, promotional service, yeah, ending up in fake playlists, yeah, which is not good either, I would say,
mm.
yeah. Um, and because we're running out of time, I'm going to give you one more little beautiful example. Do you know what happened here around February 8th, February 9th?
Wow.
Do you know what happened?
2020.
2021.
It was the virus became, everybody knew about the virus.
No, 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 no. It was the biggest sports event in the US of A, the Super Bowl.
Ah, the Super Bowl, of course.
And
Yeah,
during the
yeah,
half break, the weekend was performing.
yeah, yeah,
And as we are living in Europe, yeah,
yeah.
the Super Bowl is being aired on February 9th.
Mm,
And this is kind of like the time that song Blinding Lights came out, and
mm,
you see what happened to the popularity of the weekend. It's
mm.
it spikes.
The
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
it's a wonderful example
Yeah,
of what we can show you. If
yeah,
I were to be the artist manager of the weekend, oops, I probably would have spent even more money. Well, I'm pretty sure they already did spend a lot of money
yeah,
on doing that. Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah,
as said, it's just some examples
yeah,
very quickly of what it is we do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it difficult to learn your tool?
No, not at all. I think it's pretty
Because
easy.
you were just playing around with it, but I'm like, whoa, yeah, I would have
Oh
to get
no.
it, you know.
You know what? We really care for artists, and it's very intuitive.
Yeah.
You can register for free. You don't even have to
100 hours
pay.
for free. Oh, it's okay. I thought,
Absolutely. And the most important thing, what I believe before we leave, is that whoever uses Playtreks to distribute music on all the streaming platforms do get 100% of the royalties. And
Mm,
we are very, very unique. So
mhm.
we
Someone attending this webinar who might have
Yeah,
a new profession and become an
yeah,
actor. Eh?
yeah.
Thank you, Louis, because I
Okay.
think what you said is you nailed it. Eh? Online presence, making sure being found is essential. Eh? And it has nothing to do with AI and high and deep tech. It's very basic skills. There's a lot of
Yeah.
dummy website tools out there. Ask for
Mm.
help, but just make sure to get there. And I also
Mm.
remember that education, it's something lacking in the on the educational side, I think, when
Mhm.
it comes to actors and presence. Eh? It's something
Yeah.
we noticed in the music industry as well.
Definitely.
So I think we're all back. I'm gonna do a quick roundup. Anjo, how was it on your end?
well, we had a very intimate session on how AI and blockchain can help artists to get clarity on what's happening to their music, not missing out on any income. And I was very happy that we were accompanied by somebody who is more than modest, but plays in the Spanish National Orchestra, has been an artist for a couple of years because he's the youngest person in this group. But I was very proud of having Pablo with us because that gentleman knows what he is talking about. Definitely.
Super. Yeah, and I know that Anjo behind the scenes, the consortium is working hard for the rights
Yes.
of artists, and it's so powerful that there is hope
Well, let
on
me
that
say one
level.
last thing for that matter. We have read all the files from the European Commission on how to protect rights of artists, and to be very honest, I haven't seen a lot of companies solving these problems. Yeah, but I can guarantee you that when it comes down to transparency and clarity, again by using blockchain, AI, machine learning, we have implemented a lot of solutions to cover these problems mentioned.
Yeah, and the fact that it's out there, it exists, it will be very disruptive. I'm always scared. Anjo, when I talk to you, I know it's those disruptive companies that sometimes get hijacked by the big ones just to be shut up. So we hope that freedom of speech can keep on going also
Well,
in the music
by
industry.
now you know me, and my speech will always be there. I mean, no offense, but I always consider myself to be a person driven by ADD, but it has more to do with the urge of doing something right for the
Yes,
truth. Yes,
super
thank
awesome.
you.
And then, Kel, how was your session? Can we do an exam on buzzwords for the moment?
Too fast. It was way too fast. I wanted to speak, I think, for still 1 hour. So for everyone in my session, if you still have questions, don't hesitate to send them to me. I'll be really happy to answer them via email later on. And I hope it was useful for the audience that was present in my session.
Yeah, I know you always inspire people and they want to learn more. I always get goosebumps when I hear you talking. So thank you for being here. And Tom, how was it on your end? It was short, eh? It was short.
It was too short, especially for a topic like this. But I think I gave participants a sort of crash course. I should ask Juklan how it was, but I think we needed at least half an hour to discuss some other topics and get the questions answered. So again, if you have any questions, also please send them to me on Twitter or on by email. I think my email will be distributed. So always welcome if you have any questions, or maybe you are planning to experiment with an AI tool, or you have a specific problem you want to address with an AI tool, please let me know, because we need input from other people, not only from journalists, but people working or experimenting with these tools. Yeah.
Super. Thank you for being here. And Louis, I'll give you the last sentence. The last how because you were eager to do it. Even it was last minute to speak to this audience, because it is important. You getting out there on a digital way.
Especially now with the coronavirus, everything accelerated immensely. It was already something that was definitely going on, but people were hesitant, and now everybody got thrown in it. So I hope, and it's been proven to be very practical. It has its disadvantages, but I just urge everybody to embrace the and don't see it as a disadvantage, but as a tool that makes life easier.
Yeah, so thank you. I think this was it for today, Daphne, and especially everyone from the consortium. I would love to thank you, and I would say sign up for the newsletter. Check out the website, the recordings. There's other webinars, recordings out there who are equally as inspiring as they were today. Daphne, do you want to share something? Because I'm gonna end up with a short video. Yes, these are the website links, and you will get the email with the recordings as well. And it's the third of a series of webinars, and we've talked about today. And I wanted to end up with a video, which is 8 minutes, and I hope you can bear with it, because I also want to give you a short wake-up call for tomorrow. I'm gonna show you how VR as a journalism, digital newsrooms, and online theater productions will all fit together, and we will end up with a world where internet no longer exists, but will be something completely new. So I would say to Daphne, if you hit the play button, because it might seem like the future, the video you're going to see today, but it's the whole behind the scenes of big internet giants and game engine developers who are fighting for the attention of the consumer. So we're going to go to a virtual world with augmented reality, and we're all a bit scared when we look at it, but we'll better be prepared, because knowing and being prepared will help us to make sure that we can tackle whatever challenges will happen in the creative industry. So thank you all very much for joining and for giving me the possibility to do this. So have a nice day.
Imagine you could go back to 1995 at the beginning of the internet, before it birthed the world's biggest companies. What would you have done? Something much bigger than the internet as we know it. Here's a recent article from Forbes. The metaverse is coming, and it's a very big deal. It explains how the 2D search-based internet is being replaced by a fully 3D immersive world that mirrors on our world. This metaverse will totally change the way we live, learn, earn, and connect, and just like the internet in 1995, is coming much faster than we think. This is Fortnite, which in 3 years has attracted a mind-boggling 350 million players. They're spending over 3 billion hours a month in this virtual world, and it has already become a world way beyond the original first-person shooter game, with Party Royale joining Battle Royale this year. Marshmallow's live concert in Fortnite attracted a world record 10 million people last year, and Travis Scott more than doubled that in April with 27 million attending his virtual concert. Now imagine a world like this connected to our real world, where you can meet, shop, work, go to school, play games, be creative, and be whoever, frankly, you want, while teleporting or time traveling to wherever you want. That is the metaverse. It's already the vision of Fortnite's creator, Tim Sweeney, and he knows he's not alone in this race. From the Washington Post, Silicon Valley is racing to build the next version of the internet. Fortnite might get there first. Fortnite is a game, Sweeney tweeted in December 2019, but asked that question again in 12 months. It's now 1 year later, and Fortnite, at its current level of growth, is on track to hit 1 billion players within 3 years. And while that's happening, another billion-person net state has now also entered the metaverse. From VentureBeat, will Facebook Horizon be the first step toward the metaverse? The excitement around a metaverse is growing, and it's not just an idea from science fiction anymore. Facebook Horizon, a user-generated virtual reality world, might be one of the first steps toward creating one. While Fortnite is a 3D game on a 2D screen, Facebook Horizon is experienced in 3D virtual reality. It's now in beta testing and is likely to launch publicly within the year. Think of it like a first-person Sims, where you can create your own world, meet, socialize, share experiences, play games, and work together. As the metaverse takes over the internet, Facebook Horizon is going to take over from the 2D Facebook that we're all using today. So when exactly will this happen? As with all new technologies, it happens when 3 things come together: demand, software, and hardware. So number 1, demand. We've actually already reached a critical mass of demand. When the internet hit the mainstream in 1995, there was actually only 14 million people online at the time. There are already 2.5 billion gamers online experiencing virtual worlds every day. The global online games industry was worth $150 billion last year compared to just $41 billion for the entire movie industry. And the League of Legends World Championship was watched by 44 million people And that compares to just 7.5 million for the NBA Finals. So our virtual selves are already ready and waiting for the metaverse. Number 2, software is also already here. While the internet was based on code to build websites, the metaverse is built with engines that create 3D worlds. The 2 biggest, Unreal Engine and Unity Engine, are already billion-dollar toolkits. Tim Sweeney, founder of Epic Games and Fortnite, is also the creator of the Unreal Engine. Unreal has been used to build not only Fortnite, but games like Final Fantasy, Microsoft's Gears of War, and many of the top Xbox and PlayStation games. And it's now being used more and more by Hollywood films to create hyper-realistic special effects scenes. On the other hand, the Unity engine is what Facebook is building Facebook Horizons with, and it's the engine that League of Legends, Pokemon Go, and many mobile AR, VR games are built on. And that includes everything from Activision's Call of Duty to Nintendo's Super Mario Run. So basically, Unreal and Unity are the metaverse equivalent of Android and iOS. From the Financial Times a few months ago, Epic and Unity revved their engines for the next era of entertainment. Last week, Epic Games, better known outside the industry as the creator of Fortnite, Battle Royale, closed a $1.8 billion round of funding, valuing the company at $17 billion. The deal includes last month's $250 million investment from Sony, which the PlayStation maker said would broaden their collaboration ahead of the PS5's release. Epic wants to use its new funding to play a lead role in developing the so-called metaverse and expansion of games into platforms for new kinds of social and entertainment experiences. If Epic achieves its vision of the metaverse, then its addressable market could grow from the entire global video gaming community to the entire global internet-connected population. Its rival Unity, meanwhile, has hired bankers for a public listing expected later this year, said one person briefed on the matter, a move that would capitalize on its huge growth in mobile apps and fuel expansion into a much bigger addressable market beyond video gaming. These are 2 leading engines out of many, and there are other worlds that will meet in the metaverse that are creating their own engines. So for example, Minecraft, which has got 480 million players, Roblox with 160 million players, and Crossfire, who's got over 1 billion players, all having their own engines. The bottom line, both the demand and the software tools are in place for the metaverse. And before we get on to number 3, take a moment just to imagine how this metaverse is going to end the internet as we know it. No more Google search as we have our own virtual assistants doing the searching for us. No more keyboards as we walk and talk just like in the real world. No more apps as we just travel from world to world. No more screen time as we're simply accessing the metaverse via wearable devices. And no more storing by IP address, but actually by time and place in virtual reality. Markets, entire economies, and even countries will grow up in this virtual world, and will use it to access and enhance our existing world. Whether you experience the Eiffel Tower in real life or in a virtual world, or in real life via the eyes of a robot while you're in the metaverse in another part of the world, that's going to be entirely up to you. And in the next decade, for better or for worse, this is all going to be reality. The internet and mobile phone will be just as much a relic tomorrow as pagers and fax machines are today. How soon will this happen? That has everything to do with number 3, the hardware. As you're seeing, the metaverse is emerging out of the games market, and the world's 2.5 billion gamers are accessing the virtual worlds in 3 main ways. 45% by mobile, 30% by games console, and 25% by PC. All 3 are increasing in power and speed, and as 5G rolls out, it will increase mobile speeds by up to 100 times 4G. That's fast enough to create a seamless link between our real world and the metaverse. Everyone's racing to get out faster, cheaper wearables to access the metaverse. From Facebook's Oculus, Microsoft's HoloLens, and Sony's PlayStation VR, these clunky VR goggles are now being replaced by smart glasses. Here's the latest news. Facebook is launching smart glasses in 2021 with Ray-Ban. That's next year. Apple is likely to launch Apple Glass AR glasses by 2022. And Amazon has already launched with its Alexa-powered Amazon Echo frames, which are already being offered by invitation. And while it may be 5 years away before we have a fully seamless experience of our real world and the metaverse, we will already be living, learning, connecting, creating, and playing in it long before then. By 2024, we'll be spending more time in 3D virtual worlds than today's 2D internet. As for the internet, you'll either be watching this video on a wall of the metaverse or on the wall of a cafe through your smart glasses, or I'll be transformed into a 3D bot in your virtual world. So what do you think? Will the metaverse transform humanity for good? Will it result in a Ready Player One style universe or a dystopia like the Matrix? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you found this video eye-opening, please do give it a like and subscribe. And do enjoy my video and frankly all of YouTube while it exists. Because in the future metaverse, we're going to be connecting in entirely different ways.
That was, yes. It is scary, but it is happening as we speak. So don't be afraid. Let's take it one step at a time, from a website to a small little bit of knowledge of AI, and just make sure that by communicating and working together, we all also keep having a human world without outside technology, I hope. Thank you everyone for joining. Bye.
Thank you, Trace.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.